while ago, somebody on my Facebook wall told me that they had really poor turnout to the elections for Dallas County. And as it turns out, these numbers were pretty bad. Let's take a closer look. The population of Dallas County is 2,448,796 people. The Democrats claim to have 1,175,836 registered voters. The Republicans claim to have 1,172,339 registered voters. There was a mistake on their website. The front page said that the total number of registered voters was 1,175,836, which is the same number that the Democrats have claimed as their number of registered voters. So either they made a mistake and the value that was supposed to be plugged in for the total number of votes was accidentally put in as the Republican votes. So I'm assuming that's the case. If it's not the case, then these numbers are going to look way worse. Now, the first thing I noticed was combined, this 2,348,175 registered voters. Now, that's really close to the same number that was given for the population of Dallas County. So when I'm looking at this, I'm getting a little depressed because they're claiming that like 96% of the population are registered to either of the two-party parties. Now, I'm pretty skeptical of these numbers because they're not taking into account children who are unable to vote until they're 18. They're not taking into account felons who are not able to vote. They're not taking into account people who are currently incarcerated, and that's a lot of people. So these numbers should definitely be taken with a grain of salt, but it's about the closest thing I could find to legit numbers, so we're going to roll with it. Now, there's good news. Despite 96% supposedly of the population is registered, only a handful of those people showed up to vote. The Democrats had 68,053 people show up to vote, which comes out to 5.8% turnout of the registered Democratic voters. The Republicans were a little better. They had 86,822 people show up, which turned out to a 7.4% turnout. Now, if you combine those together, it comes out to 6.6 of the registered voters registered to the two-party party actually participated in the election. Now, roughly 93.5% of the population did not participate in these elections. This just kind of goes to show that a lot of people are fed up with this system and ready for something new. I found something else interesting. This is a map of the area of Dallas County. And as you can see, it is very segregated as to which part of the city the different parties belong to. These elections really weren't legitimate in the first place. Even if they were legitimate, at what point would they become illegitimate due to the lack of participation? 6.6% is a really low number. I'm almost ready to say that it should be canceled. Quit. Now, I would like for these numbers to be a little bit better next time, maybe 98-99% non-participation. I would feel a lot better about my society. Now, why is it wrong? Here's why. When you vote, you're participating in an incredibly abusive process. The people that you help place in charge are going to write rules, which are basically just threats written down on paper. And if the people of the country don't go along with those rules, then men with guns are going to come to their house. They're going to either beat up, capture, and put in a cage, or possibly even kill the person for not participating. These policymakers make policies that are mandatory. We don't have an option whether to do them or not. And the fact that violence is used to enforce them is a pretty unfriendly way of governing society. Obviously, we can't just end the government. There's going to have to definitely be planning and steps to make the transition as gentle as possible. Well, if we keep putting this off, it's not going to be very gentle. I myself have no intention of leaving a world for the future in the way it is. This place is a mess, and I'm ashamed to say that we've let it come this far. Well, that's it for this episode. Just thought I'd let you know how many anarchists there are in Dallas, Texas. The links are down below to the websites that I pulled these numbers off of. If any of you would like to try and convince me why 6.6% of the population is legitimately and rightfully able to control the rest of the population, if you want to go ahead and try to give me a good excuse why that's possible, go ahead and leave it down below.